Welcome to the Coach House. Today I'm repping the Demons because I have Tyler Popp on, and we used to play roller hockey way back in the day.
Like, probably about 10 years of it from, I don't know, until we were like, from we were like 7 or 8 until we were like 15 or 16.
You started a little younger than I did.
Yeah, like playing-wise,
Yeah.
dude, I was playing like 3 sports as a 5-year-old. I think my dad just wanted me to play everything.
I did do that too, but I didn't play hockey. I didn't play 3 sports, but I was playing baseball and I was playing a lot of soccer.
Yeah, you played soccer? Oh, I knew you played soccer.
Yeah, well, I'll bring the story up again. I got drafted onto your dad's team, house league, inline, my first season. And I remember telling you were not having it playing goalie. You were not. You were pissed. You're like, Dad, I don't want to play. And I don't know who our goalie was, but we didn't have him. And I was just like, I'll play. And your dad looked at me, and he's like, have you ever played goalie before? I was like, in soccer I have. And he was like, put on the gear. Tyler, you can fucking skate.
Well, it was like, so we played these outdoor games, and I was okay. I was pretty good.
That's Outgrove.
Yeah.
Now you're playing with a ball out there, right?
Yeah.
A
So, like,
different.
we go to a puck, and I just remember, like, I had to be goalie because no one played.
And you're the coach's kid.
And I'm the coach's kid.
There's no choice.
And I'm just like, man, I'm watching, like, our team just do absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, man, you know, I'm not the best, but I'm better than the dudes out there.
And I wasn't very good. It was my first season.
Right.
But I did score 1 goal, and as soon as I scored that goal, I knew I was going to play the next season.
Mm-hmm.
That was solidifying the feeling.
Yeah, man, it was like
but you do play with a lot of chumps.
Yeah, like at the start,
Yeah.
before everyone starts getting good. And that's one thing. So, like, we had the Eagles, which was that team.
Yeah.
So I was at this place, Hat Trick, and roller hockey was so big back then. Like, it was huge.
Dude,
everyone played it.
It's weird that, like, how much it's died down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because I think just ice hockey maybe became more affordable. Maybe it just because I think growing up for me, ice hockey was this mythical thing because it was so expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe it's still like that now, but, you know, the Blackhawks weren't big. Like, there wasn't a ton of stuff going on.
It's funny you say that because I feel like the Blackhawks also kind of, at least around here, kind of got people playing ice hockey.
Oh,
too.
yeah, dude. Like, when I went and watched, like, prep, like those old high school teams, the hockey's so good. And I'm watching them like, damn, man, these guys are freaking awesome. And I think it's like the Blackhawks inspired, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Kids to play.
Yeah.
And it got just
so you're
so
saying
much
you
more
watch
competitive.
prep now?
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And they're just, like, so much better than, like, when we were in high school.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's impressive. But, yeah, we had the Eagles, and that was just, like, a random draft team. And it was the starters.
House league, yeah.
House league. And then do you know how they got the idea for Demons?
For the name, or
Just, like, to put the team together. Like, to be a travel roller hockey team with 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds.
I think my dad was, like, pretty adamant on it. Like, he was pretty. I think it was something he wanted to do because he would coach like baseball.
Yeah.
He would also coach soccer. So, and hockey was his sport. So I think he was really like. I think he always had a plan
into it?
of. I think he knew if I was gonna get into it and I stuck with it, that he was like that was his in.
Yeah, I mean because my dad was the same way at, like, in Elk Grove.
With other sports.
Just with hockey.
Okay.
Like,
just
he didn't
hockey.
want to coach anything else. He was my coach. I mean, I don't even know if I've had another coach of roller hockey that wasn't him.
Yeah.
Yeah, pressure. Right? But we went to roller because I guess that was, like, these roller hockey tournaments we knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the way in. They started doing, like, those house leagues, and that was the Eagles.
But you started playing at Elk Grove first, though.
Oh, yeah, from, like, 6 or 7 years old. But we knew, like, there was nothing really past that there. Like, I think both our dads
As far
might
as
have...
competition.
Right.
I didn't play at Elk Grove, though.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe both our dads saw what Hat Trick was doing.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, like, we can...
Do you remember Cowboy Hat Dan?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Dude, like, he was also a big part of the Demons, like, getting it started and being affiliated with Hat Trick.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember we won our very first game. Were you on that team?
I think so, because I think it was the one team, and we were just god-awful. We just got slaughtered every game.
Yeah, but we won the first game.
Oh, we did.
Do you remember we played, I think, the Berwyn Chill Dogs?
Okay.
And,
yeah, I think so.
And I think we won 2-1.
It was like a good game.
And Cowboy Hat Dan fucking came into the locker room, and he said, "You guys are awesome." Blah blah. Blah.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and he like, dude, no one expected us to win a single.
I
game.
remember that. Yeah.
And I think Martiri might have scored both the goals too.
Yeah, I do remember that, dude.
And he came in and he was like, "Everyone gets an ice cream on me. You come to the counter."
Holy
and
shit!
you let me know
I literally remember that.
Yeah. Dude, that was the very first tournament game, and we won. And that was like a very, like, I remember that being a very proud moment for a lot of people.
Because that's how it started. Those leagues those travel leagues didn't exist at Hat Trick. It was just those tournaments, and we had to throw together some hodgepodge team, and we were competing against a bunch of people that have been doing it for 3 years. And
honestly, it was just like teams, it was just players that my dad and your dad had in house leagues that we already knew. Yeah.
Right.
And like, it was pretty much everyone made the team. If you didn't make the only reason you weren't on the Demons if you didn't play for my dad or your dad was pretty much because you didn't want to play on the trail.
Yeah, like
there was like no cutting.
Like, yeah, like you shouldn't. There was zero issue for you to not make it. No one was bad enough.
Yeah,
but it blew up, man. Like that whole like the Saberhawks. That was like our huge rival teams, and it eventually turned into, 2 age group teams. We had like 3 or 4 teams at one point.
So let me just time out. I don't usually run out of the room, but I think I have to get something real quick. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. You're good. Dude, is that the first jersey?
This is the very first jersey. We were blue.
Oh man, those are hideous.
Yeah, they're not. But I remember being so proud of them too. At the same time.
How stinky is that?
It smells. It smells more like
like a dirty closet.
No, like when you buy like a fake jersey from China. Like.
Oh, dude, that's not bad.
No, I mean it's clean.
I'm gonna throw it on.
Dude, yeah, and that's the thing. We could throw it on now, and it's like a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is my head even gonna fit through this?
Yeah. That should, dude.
See?
Here, stand up. Let's see how it looks, brother. Dude, hell yeah, you could wear that as a regular ass shirt nowadays. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, we were 8. No, how old were we? Like 10 or 12?
I remember I started playing at 9 for your dad, so I was probably like 10 by the time Demons started.
Okay, so I was only 8.
Yeah,
so we were young.
I love it. You're wearing that right now.
Yeah, of course.
I think the other ones are. Do you have the old ones too? The ones the flames.
Yeah, dude, those were sweet.
Those were cool.
Those were sweet.
These are just like, we've got a team. We need a jersey.
Yeah, and then, dude, it blew up to the point where like there were so many teams, and it got like big. Like we would practice like 2 days a week, games every single Friday night for like
Sundays.
Years.
I thought it was
Fridays, Sundays.
But no, you know what? We had. I think at one point, we had practice 2 times a week. I was playing in a Wednesday and a Friday night draft league.
Yeah.
And then we had Sunday games for, what do they call it? Like travel teams.
Yeah, like they realized how many people were joining these tournaments and
how many of them were local.
And like we need to make a league.
So it was not a draft league. It was a league that you entered your own team in. It was pretty sick.
That's the wild thing. Like, and that's what
nowadays it's just state wars. Like, dude, my stepbrother, he's 18 or he's gonna be 18. Dude, that's all he plays at Hat Trick is just state wars. There's no leagues. There's no draft leagues. There's no travel teams.
Yeah,
that's it. The only travel that he played was all ice hockey.
Yeah, and it's just like growing up, I always tried to realize like why am I like pretty good at hockey? Like what makes me stand out? And one of the things that our dads did, getting us ready, is because we all suck so bad. Is they would just spend hours teaching us positioning and fundamentals, and that's. I remember them standing out with like your dad brought out like these long ass ropes, and it would create these triangles and it would move us and everything like that. And that's how we got good. Is we didn't have any all-stars really. Maybe a couple like good people.
Yeah.
But they just coached us like real coaches. Yeah. And like growing up, and even when I was playing like, in high school, high level, it was seeing the rink better than anyone because of the stuff our dads did.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I had a hard time transitioning into that ice hockey game, but the one thing I could do well was
just beat the crap out of people.
Well, besides that, yeah. I was just waiting to hit people in ice hockey.
I remember playing against you. It was scary. I was like, John's going to ring my bell.
Dude, yeah, that was the one thing I did need from roller hockey that I didn't get was hitting. But, yeah, I think I had a hard time transitioning and I had a very hard time, even though it's a simple idea, I had a very hard time with offsides.
Yeah.
Because roller, you can go wherever the fuck you want. You're not restricted. So, like, I remember my first year, dude, I thought I caught this pass and I was on a breakaway and they blew the whistle.
Like, what the
and I'm
hell?
like halfway to the goalie and I'm like, oh fuck, this is embarrassing.
It was like hilarious. We would go in there as a roller hockey player where your hands are pretty good.
Yeah. And I never had great hands, but I could handle the puck up the ice. Whereas like some roller hockey players or some ice hockey players, when as soon as they get it, they just get rid of it. They don't have the confidence to skate with the puck.
Yeah, those first couple of years, I remember I was like, damn, I can handle the puck better than a lot of these kids.
Yeah.
But then I would go into the boards, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Literally fly. And I would just like fall in front of everyone. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
And the difference between stopping in roller hockey compared to ice is roller, you're doing like a half circle. You're like literally coming around and pivoting like your whole body into it.
You got to have the perfect angle
with like a circle stop.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like a half moon almost or something. In ice hockey, you are literally just turning.
And it's like skiing.
You're just turning.
Yeah,
you just turn and you stop.
Yeah, like if you've skied, it's like that.
And if you try to do one of the other two stops in the other one, if you do a roller hockey stop in ice hockey, you will swing out and fall on your ass.
Yeah.
And if you do a ice hockey stop in roller, you will eat shit going the other way because you like your momentum can't stop.
Yeah,
it's a blade versus wheels. It's just not the same.
It's definitely really different. But yeah, man, Demons was, I mean, that was our lives for so long. And like when we were
at least like a good 6 years. I feel like 5.
We would go to tournaments every weekend all over the freaking Midwest, Michigan. We've been to Ohio.
Every weekend's a stretch, but
but like once a month it felt like.
But like 9 to 12 within a season, dude. Like that is a lot, dude.
Yeah, and it was like late nights. I mean, where games would be Friday nights or whatever, and dads would go to the bar and we'd go and play on the rink until like 1 or 2 in the morning.
And how pissed would they be about the times? We'd have like a 10 o'clock game when we're like 12.
Yeah.
And then there would be like a 6 a.m. game. And they'd be like, this is fucking bullshit, dude. I think it was more about them. They're
not wanting to go to bed. Yeah.
They're like, fuck this shit, dude.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Those tournament games sometimes.
Because us, dude, we didn't give a fuck. We were just like, whatever, fuck it.
Get me into the car. I'll take my energy drink and be fine. Yeah. But they're probably like, wow, God, great. Got to get my home, showered, changed, go to bed at 11, get them up at 5.
Yeah. Fuck that. I remember specifically being late to, we were playing, I believe, the Comets. I don't know if you were on that team, but do you remember Dan Deegan?
Yeah.
And they became the Comets, I believe?
Yeah. Had a lot of defectors.
So I'm driving, my dad's driving there, and he's speeding, and we're not even a mile away from the house, and he gets pulled over. We're like, we have a game in like 15 minutes, and I'm not even ready or anything. And I don't know if you remember me, I took forever to get ready. I was the slowest dresser. And so my dad literally just tells the cop, he's like, look, listen, like, I'm the coach of this team. It's Palatine. This is my son. We have to get there. She was pretty cool. She just let us go. But, like, I just remember, like, dude, rushing to games, always being on the road, long road trips, driving with other friends. Like, that was the fun part, too. You would, like, road trip with, like, the other teammates. Like, Dad, can I ride with Tyler or whatever?
Literally, like, and it was just the amount of time it must have taken them and, like, how fun, like, we were just talking about, like, how much fun they had to have doing that. Like, they probably felt like little GMs and, like, building a team. And, you know, we were pretty good at one point. Like we went from legit dumpster fire to one of the best teams.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like we never got that we never got that big win, though, from, like, tours. You know what I mean?
I know. Like, I do see some trophies downstairs from, like, maybe a couple of tournaments that we won because, like, you know, you lose to the Saberhawks for so long, and, you know, in one random tournament, we slaughter ruled them, and it was, like, the greatest. Because, remember, they split.
The Saberhawks?
Yeah,
Or you mean crushed? The Saberhawks sucked.
No, that was the thing. Our teams were split, remember?
Yeah,
you were the 14s, and we were the 12s.
Yeah.
And the Saberhawks, they weren't really that good, and then they got really good, and then they were beating us a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there was only, like, 3 or 4 teams like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we definitely, like, held our own, definitely throughout the leagues there. I mean, we weren't running every fucking league, but
no.
we were definitely holding our own. Do you remember, I don't know if you're on that team either, because we were split a lot, but we did play on teams together. Mm-hmm. But do you remember when we beat the Crush in a shootout?
No.
Okay. Dude, it went. Who was the chick goalie? We had Abby.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
We had Abby, and we were playing the Crush, like this huge rival, and it went into a shootout, and Michael Jakubowski just fucking whiffed on one, and it went through 5-hole, and we won the fucking game, and it was insane, and everyone's going crazy. And do you remember this kid Andrew Giesel or whatever? Geisel?
Mm-mm. Okay. Was he on your team?
No, he's on the Crush.
Okay.
And he goes, "Don't say a fucking word." And I go, "Good game." And he comes after me, and the whole brawl starts after that.
Those games are crazy.
Dude, if there was one thing I was good at, it was starting shit.
Yeah, you were an instigator.
Oh,
I remember that.
For sure. No doubt. My whole life, even throughout, like, even playing in tournaments, like, I went to, you know what, Mijas?
Hmm?
Yeah, I was playing in that. I'm forever banned from there. Forever banned, so...
It was a good time, man.
It was fun, man. It was fun. And then just meeting all the people. We were talking about Joe, how Joe Bosowski brought us to fucking NASCAR.
Yeah, we got to do so, and his dad brought us to, like, Blackhawks games in the box.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. We would go to the season ticket holder parties. Mm-hmm. And I played bubble hockey with Jocelyn Thibault.
Yeah.
And for everyone who doesn't know who that is.
Which is like 90% of Hawks fans now.
Yeah, legit. Jocelyn Thibault was the goalie for quite a
while.
few seasons.
I mean, they weren't very good at the time, but he brought us to the season ticket party, NASCAR races, actual games in the box.
So much fun, dude.
Lots of
so much fun. The most fun I had was just traveling, though. That was my favorite thing, just going places.
Hotels, playing
shinny mini hockey in the fucking either a room or in the fucking
in the hallway.
Yeah, in the hall. It didn't matter, and even just the rink environment too, right? Like we didn't even have to be playing at Hat Trick, and as long as we were there, it was like fun. Like you didn't really want to leave. Like we'd shoot on the.
No matter what you were doing, you were playing. Even if you were waiting for your game, there was net in the back.
Net. Exactly what I was gonna say. We were shooting there, or we were just playing in the fucking arcade when they used to have one. Remember?
I know.
You were always in that motherfucker,
dude.
dude.
I know. I was begging dads for dollars every day.
Dude, I think they literally had Oregon Trail in that fucking. They definitely had Blitz.
It was old.
And now those are locker rooms. They're not even...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, now there's locker room and a pro shop in there that's never open.
Yeah, I don't think I've played roller in, ages. I mean, I played some men's recently, but...
men's ice?
Mm-hmm. Just, like, out here. It's crazy. I mean, it's like... we can kind of move it into, like, what I want to do with school. Like, I was pretty good, and you grow up, everyone thinks you're going to make the NHL when you're a kid. Then you realize you're not going to.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like, I'm really burnt out. Like, a lot of people go and play college somewhere, club team, whatever like that. Like, I wanted, like, nothing to do with that. I was so burnt out on hockey, like, I didn't even want to play anymore.
It's funny you say that, because I felt the same way, and I
think for me, it's just, when I played, I took it so serious, like, nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
And that, like, competitive drive and, like, just so much went into it, and... for what cost almost? It's not like I'm in the NHL. Like, I'm going to these games. I'm getting pissed off we're not winning and, like, men's and stuff. I'm getting hurt.
Yeah.
Dude, I was, like, the king of injuries growing up all the time.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
And now my knee always hurts. My ankle. My fingers are all messed up. Like, it's just... I just kind of got over it. And, like, I remember going, and I was like... It was funny, because I never really paid any attention to school or anything like that. And then, like, you know what? I think I'm going to go, like, try and be a doctor.
Yeah.
It was like, my dad was like, what the hell are you doing? And I don't think I really knew what that took. But, yeah, it was just weird. My love for it kind of like, died out.
I don't disagree with you. I kind of had the same thing. And I started playing recently, and then COVID happened, and now the rink is closed. And I'm just not really doing anything. And, like, I like it. I'll always have love for it. But it's funny that you were talking about the competitive aspect, because... when I'm playing in these men's leagues now, some of these people are too competitive.
Yeah, it's because they never played organized before, it seems like.
But even some of them have, and I'm just like, dude, you need to fucking chill the fuck out. Like, because you're just pissing people off.
Or you're like, what are you going to do? Get in a fight as a 28-year-old man, like, on the ice? And people do.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, they do. Honestly, I think if anything's going to happen, like, it's usually just, like, a cheap shot or whatever. It's usually not a fight, you know what I mean? But it's just like, dude... It's just some people take it way too seriously, and I'm just like, dude, this is men's league roller hockey.
Do you want to get a slash on your wrist and break your wrist and have a bum wrist the rest of your life because some 50-year-old man is pissed that you passed him?
Yeah, not even like it's usually the young kids
or young kids. I mean, it's
like an idiot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Either way, it's funny because I do want to be competitive. I do want to win. I do want to try hard. I don't want to like just pay for these games and play like shit. But at the same time, there's like a line where it's like, okay, being competitive and being like, okay, this isn't the fucking NHL. Like, you need to chill the fuck out. Yeah. Like, there's a fine line, and I just get pretty annoyed by it sometimes.
Yeah, man. I haven't really played for about a year and a half.
Ice or anything?
Anything.
Yeah. So, you're talking about the doctor thing. How did that... What made you decide that? You were just sick of just playing hockey?
Yeah, no, I don't really know. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere. I remember going to the doctor's office and, like, my orthopedic surgeon and everything like that. I was like, this seems like a cool gig. It gets to help people, make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, it's not like I have a doctor in the family or anything like that. So I just kind of go into it. I go to school, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to do it. How hard can it be, right? Like, I've never really tried at school. So, how hard can it be, right? Well, really freaking
being a
hard.
doctor is pretty fucking hard, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I was a dumb kid. And I went in there, the first year was great. Like, I learned very quickly
this was at Western?
Yeah. Like, I went into Western going, like, pre-med.
Western Illinois, for those.
Yeah. And, like, it's small school, but, like, good. Like, the classes were small, so you got a ton of FaceTime with the teachers.
Fucking Leatherneck, eh?
Yeah. The partying was wild. But
I've been there a few times. It is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Was it Wheeler Street or something?
Wheeler, Adams. I mean, Western was freaking wild.
Yeah.
But, like, I got involved. Like, I did a bunch of stuff. I tried to do as much as I could there. In the classes, like, my biggest thing was, like, I just realized how much time it was taking up.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of friends that are out partying every single weekend. Like, I'm studying.
You weren't expecting that, though?
Well, I was and I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was still young and not really,
You were expecting it, but not to that extent.
Right. Like, it took so long to study for this stuff. And, like, I'm no genius. Like, some kid, like, the kids I was in the class with were really, really smart. So they would have to study for, like, half the time to be able to retain.
Yeah.
It just took me so long. And just over time, I learned, like, how much I'm missing while I'm doing all this studying.
Yeah.
Like, I just out on life. And it got to the point where, like, it was like end of junior years, beginning of senior year, where, like, I took the MCAT, which is, like, the entrance exam. I did, like, okay on it. Like, I probably would have had to retake it, but I did, like,
So wait,
okay.
You did 4 years?
Yeah. I graduated with the degree.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And I just got to the point where, like, I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I will say I'm proud of you that you stuck with it then.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
realize that part.
Yeah, that was awesome. The tough thing.
Yeah.
Is realizing I didn't want to do it anymore and, like, still,
after you got it.
Well, that and, like, finishing out the year. Like, I knew in college.
Yeah.
Like, about halfway through my senior year, like, damn, I really don't have the desire to put myself through this. Like,
but what are you gonna do? Like, start over? And
and do something else.
Yeah.
Because it takes so much time away from you, and I have friends now that are in med school. It's like their third year, and they still have another year.
Yeah.
And then they have, like, 3 years of residency, and then they got all these loans, and I'm sure it's gonna be worth it for them at the end of it, especially the people that are, like, really smart and don't have to, like, put 1,000% effort in, because most people do.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be worth it, but dude,
I'm sure it's 1,000% by anyone, but it's just a different. It's just at a different level.
You gotta be passionate about it, and for, like, different reasons than maybe, like, I was.
Like, your 1,000% might be all in, like, the studying, whereas, like, their 1,000%, like, they've got the studying down because they have that skill or whatever, but, like, they might provide that extra whatever percentage to just. I don't even know how they care and just. Like,
I know it's a lifestyle. Like, it really is a lifestyle.
Exactly it. And it seems like for you it was a little overwhelming and it wasn't desirable anymore. Right?
No, like, I realized all I was gonna miss, and.
So at what point? So this was, like, your senior year when you realized this.
Yeah.
So, like, what's going through your head, like, about what your future's gonna be, like, while you're still in school for it?
Oh, dude, I was miserable. I was, like, upset because I felt like a failure. Cause,
were you
like,
the only one knowing this, or did you express this to your parents? Or?
No, I was like the only one who really knew it.
Yeah.
Was going through it.
It's tough like that.
Yeah, because that was the one thing about going to Western. Like, I had my, friends from classes.
Sure.
But, I never hung out with them or anything like that. Like, I was in a frat.
Yeah.
I partied all the time. Like, everyone else I'm hanging out with is, I'm not taking away anything from their schooling. It's just nowhere near as intense.
Sure.
So you don't really have, like, anyone to relate to. So you're just kind of going through it alone. And you're
just because you weren't associating with, like, the people that you were taking classes with.
Right. Like, they didn't party. They didn't do anything. Like, they studied all night, went to bed, and woke up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for the 8 a.m. Webcam class, and I'm walking in there, going to bed at 2.
Yeah.
Drinking and just, like, trying to focus.
And kind of pissed off, probably, like, that you even have to be there.
Right, because I'm like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, it was that last semester, and then that whole, I was going to take a gap year to make my decision. I mean, I already knew my decision. I just didn't know what I was going to do.
You just didn't know how to tell people.
Right. So I was like, I'm taking a gap year. I'm going to go back. I'm going to do it.
Just basically buying time to, like...
Because I'm trying to figure out, like, what the hell do I do? I knew nothing. This is like,
sure.
Western was great, but I didn't know how to find the resources to help me get out of where I was. I probably didn't look for help from, like, my parents or my dad, and, like, I just felt alone. Like, I didn't know what to do.
Sure.
And it sucked. Like, you feel like a failure. And it happens with so many people. I have a friend that, wanted to be a cop for so long, and then he gets into it and he hates it.
I mean...
And, like, what do you do?
It's not for everyone.
And there's just so many...
Did he leave, or is he still...
Yeah, like, he quit.
That's awesome, because those people who hate it... You can see what's happening nowadays. They're fucking acting out.
Yeah,
like,
right. Exactly. So...
Those are the wrong people to be in that position.
So it was a tough, last semester of college, the year after, trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do with my life? And I just felt like a lazy, like a bum, like a failure. And then...
Where were you staying at that time?
I was just living in my dad's basement.
Okay.
Like, I was that guy, like, just living in my dad's basement.
Was back in EG, or...?
Yeah, back in EG. I was like, man, I literally don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends I went to school with was like, hey, I work at this place called CDW, and it is full of a bunch of people that don't know what they want to do.
Who is this guy?
This is my buddy Adam.
Okay.
I went to school with him. We were really close in college, and he's like, I know you don't, like, want to be in an office and do sales and stuff like that, but he's like, there's people that want to be in business here and everything like that, but dude, this is like the perfect job to do if you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's fun. The training's really good. The office is in a high-rise downtown. You can make some money. It's just a whole, like, a learning experience.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Like,
so basically, you just have to be willing.
Right. Be open arms and just try it.
Yeah.
And he basically says, like, I know you never wanted to do business, and it's not your comfort zone, but he's like, what are you doing now?
But I think for where you're at right now, this might not be a bad position.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, well, shit. All right, I'll try it.
So you applied, and I know they do phone interview because I actually interviewed for them before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily his sister worked there.
Nice.
And that's how they get a lot of people as references.
Yeah, sure.
And by that point, I'm ready to go. Like, fully involve myself in something, because I had just been a bum for like 12 months out of school.
So you were ready.
Yeah, I didn't care what it was. I could have been serving tables. I could have been,
But that's a little bit easier than telling your parents you're serving tables is, hey, I'm going to go work for CDW downtown.
Yeah, it was never really about disappointing them as much. It was just like myself. Like, just getting over the fact, like, dude, you're not a failure. You just didn't want to do what you thought you wanted to do.
Sure.
And it took a lot.
But you were a little concerned about what you were going to tell them. Like,
oh, yeah, for sure.
Senior year, you were like, fuck.
Dude, I was taking I had to take a summer class. Like, no one knew that when I graduated, I still had one more class.
Really?
And I was, like, secretly taking a summer class.
Really?
No one knew. No one knew. Because I failed
Do they
one.
know now?
No, they will after they listen to this.
They know now.
Yeah. I was like I'd be like, my dad's like, where the hell are you going? It's like a 7 o'clock on like a Tuesday. I was like, oh, I'm just going to hang out with a buddy. I was going to finish a class that I had.
He probably thought you were becoming an alcoholic.
I know. He probably thought I was like not doing anything good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm just trying to. Because that's what happened is I just lost motivation, and it was like a gen ed, and I just.
Oh, was it really? It wasn't even like a doctor.
No, because I took those classes seriously, but it was just a gen ed that I was like,
Yeah, but you still got to graduate, so they obviously had confidence in you that you were going to complete the school had confidence.
Yeah, exactly. They let me walk and
Yeah.
everything like that because they knew, and I was going to.
Which isn't, dude. I mean, it sounds like you beat yourself up a little. Go grab another one.
No, it's good.
It sounds like you beat yourself up a little bit over that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like look back and wish I worked out a little harder. Maybe had a different mindset going into it.
It's weird though because you're older now and like you can see it, but when you're in that time, it's like you don't really understand. Like
I had no idea. Like it was just this goofy dream that I had where
we're still babies. You don't know.
I know. So I mean, no regrets now. Like I got that job at CDW. I was bartending. I was working a ton. And I got what I was really, really nervous about losing going to like grad school and med school, which, they get to go out and have fun and stuff like that, but it's like their whole lives. Like, you have to sink your whole life into it to be successful. And there's just so much other shit I want to do.
You just didn't want to dedicate your life to that.
Right. At this time.
Yeah.
Because I saw what it would take to do that just in pre-med. And I was like, it's only going to get worse.
So are you hinting that you may go back to it?
I think about it every once in a while. I don't really know if I'd want to be a doctor.
Sure.
But, going back to school, like, that's, helping people has always been
you
the
already
number
have a
goal.
4-year degree, though. I mean...
Yeah, like getting a master's in something.
Yeah, shit.
But, yeah, I moved downtown and just, like, I got everything that I wanted to get that I feel like I missed out on in college. Like, I have really good friends. I get to do a ton of cool stuff. I get to travel. Like... Working and, just doing like an 8 to 5 gives me the opportunity to explore other stuff that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get that with what I was doing before.
This beer's coming through right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's weird because there's this dreamer idea you have, right? But it's still, that dreamer idea still has to fit your reality of what... Mm-hmm. is actually going on in your life, and like, are you going to dedicate yourself in that way? You know what I mean? It's like it's just not everything's meant to be like that.
No, exactly.
It can be hard to accept too.
And it's like, I would see people like there's people that go through med school, pre-med, all that stuff, and get to have just as much fun, if not more fun, than I do going out, enjoying life. But they just have it figured out to where they can be successful and do that.
Yeah.
Like I would have had to completely envelop myself in it for, including undergrad, for like 10 years straight, and it'd be the only thing I could focus on because I just
a way of learning.
So once I realized that, it was like, shit, like this is going to take up too much time. I'm not going to get to do what I want to do, and that's hard to accept, like really, really hard to accept,
especially when like
you got all these expectations too,
dude, and like it sounds crazy, but you're 27, 26 right now. I mean, dude, you're still very fucking young, and I'm saying this at 28. I mean, I just feel like as you get older, you start to understand yourself more.
Exactly.
And like, I think you're right around that age where like you're really like you're starting to get your groove. At least that's how I felt. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was really starting to get in the groove of like who I am as a person and what I want and how is that going to come about? How am I going to create that path? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, when you're 21, 22 years old, I honestly feel like you don't even have that experience to know what you want to do. It's weird because you just get thrown into it and you're just like, you better have it figured out at 18 because we're going to drop fucking thousands of dollars on you to go to school.
It's so wild knowing people that have wanted to do the same thing and they're doing it now and they love it. And like they want to do, like a lot of people went to school with the older kids are doctors now.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's all they've wanted to do, and they, like, did it. And it's just, for me, I've never been able to, like, crystallize that thought. Like, this is exactly what I want to do. I'm going to get there. And I'm still not there yet. Like,
you're still at CDW, right?
No. So...
Okay.
Yeah, so I... at CDW, I work with... actually, he's my cousin's husband. And we both got an offer to join the startup company as employees, like, 6 and 7. So like really, really small.
And how many people started it up? Just one guy?
Our investors from the UK.
Okay.
He sold his talent acquisition company in the UK for like a wild amount of money. So he's our investor, and then our CEO is from the UK, and he's a self-made man, and then was brought over to the U.S. to start the U.S. team from his company in the U.K.
Do you know him? Have you spoken with him?
Who? Oh, yeah, I know both of them. Like,
yeah.
The CEO directly is my boss.
Okay.
And then the investor is very involved.
Do you have an accent?
They both have pretty brutal accents.
Brutal? I was going to say, is it nice?
No, yeah, it's funny.
Can you give us a little impression?
No, I can't do it. I can't do the impression. Can you? Because it's not really that bad. It's just some of the terms that they use, like cheeky.
Okay, so it's
cheeky. Yeah, oh, really? Okay. Like, there's a couple things they say.
Bloody hell.
No, not that bad. But they're like two good people to be behind, self-made. I don't know, like...
You have confidence in their leadership, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like, no one really knows this about the UK. It's super hard to make money. Their taxes are outrageously high. So you need to, like, work so hard to get a little bit. Versus, like, here, where, you know, the income disparity is huge. In the UK, you're taxed so heavily, everyone is working so hard to get a little bit more.
Why is it like... Why
their taxes are just higher. They have universal health care.
Okay.
They have a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so we're trying to build this company, and it's headhunting for engineers, like high-level engineers. And the only way to build... I mean, there's how many...
And you're doing that right now?
So what they brought me on to do was to launch the Southeast Territory. So they gave me a laptop, the CRM, which is the software we use to track everything. Sure. And they said, go. And they trained me, obviously, and stuff like that. But I had to build, and we're still doing it, you know, all of the clients. So I do all of the sales aspect of it.
And you mean Southeast, is that the Southeast of the nation?
Yeah. So like the Carolinas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. And like I was tasked to launch this part of the business. No name recognition, no nothing. So, you know, I have to do certain ways to just get clients on the phone, try to see if they have open jobs, tell them what we do, try to negotiate.
A lot of cold calling, huh?
Lots of cold calling, a lot of just cold business meetings, flying down there.
They fly you?
Yeah. Like, I have to go and I'll drive. Yeah, like, it is a full-on, like, you run your own business.
That's awesome.
And they obviously help you. But, yeah, like, every new client that we brought, like, I bring in from that territory is mine. I have to do all the recruiting. So, like, the hard part, there's two hard parts. You have to find companies willing to work with your no-name company because there's so many agencies out there.
I already know, like, where I work, I'm doing, like, a call center position as a banker, but I get people all the time, not all the time, but I get calls every so often. They're like, hey, I'm a new technology company that works with, you know, getting mortgages and sending members to your... And, dude, like, we're not even interested.
Yeah.
Like, we literally tell them, like, we're not looking for that at this point in time.
And I'm like that person on the phone.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting to. Like, it's got to be hard, man.
So it's not only that, it's... You do that part. So you work your ass off to, like, get a company to finally work with you. It's like, all right, well, now I got to fill the job.
Yeah.
And now I have to be a recruiter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's called full desk recruiting. It's pretty common, but usually you start off as just a recruiter for a couple of years.
Sure.
But they brought me on because of my sales experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's full desk, and you really spend the first year like grinding, like building up your book of business, just getting your name out there.
Yeah.
And then your second year's supposed to take off.
That's what they say, right?
And then, the beginning of this year, I got like a bunch of new big companies lined up to work with.
So
it's looking good.
It did work out.
And then COVID happened.
Oh.
And everyone knows what is the first thing every single company stops doing when something like this happening? Hiring people.
Yep.
They just fire everyone. No one's hiring people. So we went from like full blown, like we were like super specialized, had a bunch of client lists, we were ready to go, and then our entire business was cut.
Jesus.
We went from having like 20 clients to working with us total to like 2. So now it's just like scramble mode. Like we are having to deviate from what we do just to try and just scrape by.
So what is like your day-to-day compared to what it was?
Well, that's the thing. Like so my boss, when this all happened, he's like, we're going to get through this.
Sure.
It's going to be fine. But you guys are all going to have to work about 5 to 10 times as hard for half of the reward that you're used to just to get through it. So, like, for example, like I use LinkedIn to do all my business development.
Sure.
And I'll send like 100 messages to a bunch of different hiring managers throughout the entire region. And before
per
day. Before I would get 10, 20 responses. Usually no's, all no's, but I would still get some responses. But like a couple yeses.
That's how the game works.
Right. It's just a numbers game. And I get a couple yeses, and I could pull about 2 new jobs a week if I was working at it.
It's 2 new jobs a week, so you're putting out 500 messages a week, and you get 2 new jobs.
Yeah, sometimes more than that.
That is a fucking numbers game, man.
Yeah, and the better you get at crafting them, the more responses you get.
Sure.
The better your system is lined up to be organized, the more responses you get.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it was bad, like for March and April and beginning of May, like nothing. Like it was a ghost town. Like it was impossible to pull a new job.
Sure, yeah.
And now it's getting better, but it's still the same. Like, and not only that, now everyone has an excuse. Like usually sometimes they just take your call because they felt bad, which is great on people. Now the line is like, we're on a hiring freeze. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's like, you most likely are, but that's a great excuse to not have to talk to the person. So it's just, you got to send way more messages. You got to be way more detailed on what you do just to kind of scrape by. And like, I'm going to make...
But where does it get to the point where like you're sending too many or too much of a message to where they're just going to ignore it?
And that's where it has to be your organization and who you target.
Yeah.
So like, okay, for example, I work with a specific engineer. It's called a controls engineer. And they do the automation at like manufacturing facilities.
Okay.
And they do the programming and stuff for those machines. And I have my system and my database coded for hiring managers that would look for samples. This guy is he works in automotive manufacturing. It's really big down there.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of these little smaller companies that do automotive manufacturing that all have this specific type of engineer.
Okay.
So I'll code them up in my system, and I'll have a guy, hey, I have a dude that wants to move to the Atlanta area, from automotive controls engineer, and I'll send that person out.
It's literally like a filter, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But you have to, and that's the thing, when you start at a big company, that stuff's all done for you. Like that's how big companies evolve, is their ability to be organized.
Yeah, of course.
And to do things efficiently. So I've had to build that whole thing.
Yeah.
Which that's been the challenge. The first year, if I went and worked at another staffing agency, I would have made twice as much money not twice as much, but a lot more than I did last year.
So are they going to compensate you in the future if this all works out, or like?
Yeah, I mean, you have
busting your ass for.
No, like you have IPO, so like if the company goes public, I'd get some stock.
But are they going to go public? Did they go public back in?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah, so like there are like there's pieces of that, and it's just
gamble,
a long game.
It's also trusting in it, right?
Microsoft wasn't built in 5 years.
For sure.
Amazon wasn't built in 10.
But it's also not your company, so you have to put a lot of trust into that idea, right?
Yeah, and you have to. If you don't buy in, you're just gonna wonder every day if you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
And like, yeah,
but like you said, you think that the leadership you're confident in it. That's what you said? So
yeah,
I think that's what's most important.
It is. It's really refreshing because, like, obviously we've had some trials and tribulations. Some people have left. It hasn't been all roses and daisies.
Yeah.
It's been hard. There's been,
of course,
bad moments.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, like this has been brutal on us.
Yeah.
Like it's surviving like we are doing now. Like the amount of work we're doing now is so. It's
like you're doing so much work for like just to scrape by.
Right. Like, and if we were working this hard last year, we would be gangbusters.
Yeah.
So it's hard to. It's just hard to keep your eyes on the prize.
Some more. I need one anyway.
Do you? Here, I'll grab
You got them?
Yeah.
Dude, love that you're wearing the Demons jersey still.
Yeah, it's a little hot, but that's okay.
You can take it off. Dude, I had to rep this one, though, today because you wanted to talk about it.
I can't believe you even have it. That's hilarious.
Dude, that's what Chromie said, too. He can't believe... Dude, it's so funny. I have tours. I have a few tour shirts. I
should have brought the trophies in my dad's basement.
Oh, dude, yeah. The ones with the eagle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, those are sick.
Yeah.
Those are sick, man.
But it's like, and it's funny, like I had a conversation with my boss, like, I like what I do. There's a lot of challenges and stuff, but it's not like I'm not really passionate about it.
With your current boss, you said this to him? You weren't passionate about it?
Like, passionate about, like, the work we're doing.
Yeah.
Like the actual...
What was his response?
Well, he's just like, well, yeah, Tyler, I'm not, it wasn't my dream job to be a recruiter. Like, that's not what I grew up one day and wanted to do. He's like, but, you just...
He kind of was like, He's kind of
we were like, no. We're like open and honest about it. He's like, I'm not passionate about being a recruiter. I'm passionate about building a company.
Yeah.
And building something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to focus your shift towards that.
Do you feel like that is more of deflection than actually responding to what you're saying, or do you feel?
I feel open and honest with him about it,
and
that's why I'm with like. I'm always really big on like treating people how you want to be treated and being honest with people, and they're going to be honest with you back.
I also think it's important to think of it how you would want people to work for you,
right?
Right? I mean, like you would want that loyalty, and I'm not trying to get Donald Trumpy out over here, but like. You do. You want someone to stick with you through thick and thin, and like if you have to go, I understand, but like you still have to believe in the big picture, especially with a startup.
Right, and that's what I struggle with a little bit. Like,
it's hard to put all your trust in it, right? All your eggs in one basket.
And not only it's just hard to like do the job every single day when like you start thinking like, man, like I'm really interested in this, I'm really interested in that.
Yeah.
But like. Having that conversation with him is a good way to kind of like reset and regear and remember why you joined it in the first place.
And if it didn't go that way, it's also a good reminder like, hey, there's other options. But the fact that it did go that way, that's awesome. And it rejuvenates you. It makes you feel like you're a part of a team that cares about you a little bit as well, and that we're going to get through this together. You just need to focus on something other than what your daily...
Right, like your daily minute tasks.
Exactly.
And that was the conversation we had, and that's why I talked to him, because like you get concerned when you're about like a year and a half into a job, and especially during coronavirus, and you have about 10, 12 hours to yourself a day to think and be in your head. I'm a head case already, so like you just get lost in your thoughts. And it was, I told him I was kind of getting that way, and he reset me, regeared me, and reminded me why I joined in the first place. And now the last month has been good. Like business has been good. Like it's picking up. So it's just interesting. You go from like having this dream to being a doctor to now I'm doing headhunting, and it's like how did I get there? And like it's just been wild. Like it's been fun, and it's cool to feel like I'm a part of something, and it's okay. Like I'm not a doctor, and that's fine. And I think I finally had to like come to grips with that.
Okay, so I was gonna say something else, but I think I have to say this one right here. So, do you feel obligated to change your Instagram name at all?
I know, dude.
That was the one question I needed to ask.
I know. It's so funny when I like look at that.
Do you feel obligated?
I must have to, because I've thought about that every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I see that, I'm like, damn. Yeah, I probably should.
I'm just curious. You don't have to.
No, you're right.
I'm just curious. Like, do you feel has that ever crossed your mind?
I don't know. It's like I'm just a different person than I was when I like did that.
Of course.
It's part of me. Like I still had, every once in a while a friend from school call me Dr. Popp.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's like a joke at this point.
Yeah, dude. And I mean that's cool. But that's why I'm asking. Like, is it an obligation to change it now? Because you've been out of the game for a few years.
So long.
And you've had that name still.
I know.
Is it Dr. Popp 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
out Dr. Popp 13.
It's crazy. It's like I had this dream for so long, but I honestly don't even really think about it that much anymore. I'm so involved with what I'm doing now.
And that's the way it should be, right? I mean, you should have... I mean, I'm having such a fun time with this podcast, man.
This is sweet. This is awesome.
Dude, I haven't talked to you in how long, and we're shooting the
Easily
shit.
like 8 years.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just... I've been so fixated on this and trying to make it better and what I can do to market it, and it's just been fun. And dude, who knows where it's gonna go? But you know what? I'm just directing my time towards it when I'm not working on my regular job.
Yeah.
And it's just it's fun being a part of something that like you really feel like you're really running, and that's exactly what it sounds like you're doing. You're running your region. You're doing multiple jobs in the position that you're in. I mean, that's exciting stuff.
It is. Like, it's always nice to take a step back, get out of it. Like, so my roommate's girlfriend's in recruiting for her job.
It's funny because I don't mean to interrupt, but it's funny because she's in recruiting, but you're like in this like advanced portion of
it. Which is what I was going to bring up. Like, she does, she's a manager. She's only been there for about a couple of years in like a fast growing company, but it's like corporate recruiting. And we were talking the other night, and I was telling her everything I did, and like her mouth was like dropping
Because you couldn't believe the amount of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing, like, 3 or 4 people's jobs that her company does.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part. Like, and then, you know, you just look at maybe, like, other stuff in the future that you might want to do. And, you know, you just look at, like, man, like, I have so much more experience doing this than I did if I would have just stuck in my old job.
For sure, right? Like, even if it doesn't pan out where you're at, of course you want it to, but for some reason, if it didn't,
right, exactly.
The fact that what you're putting on a resume is a lot different than most of the other people.
Right. And it's been an awesome experience, dude. They took us to Miami in February, all expenses paid. Right before Corona. Right before Corona.
Oh, dude, they knew.
I know.
That's awesome.
I'm sure at the end of this year we had a target to go to Vegas, so I think they're going to take us to Vegas.
Hopefully, hoping
if
all goes well, cool. Right?
So, like, there's the culture is great.
Yeah.
And that's what I miss the most. It's like when you're at home alone working, you do like a Zoom call with everyone. Like, it's hard to remember why you're doing what you're doing. You're not surrounded by the people that you're trying to build it with.
It's becoming monotonous. Like, it's just, and I don't even know. You're probably smarter than me, even though you said you weren't that smart for the doctor shit. I don't even know if I use the right terminology for that. It becomes
monotonous is the right word.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you for validating me there. It just becomes so repetitive and dude, to be honest, like, I can be like, I don't really like being around people that I don't really want to be around, right? So I like working at home, but man, I'll tell you what, working from home when your job is not and we could work from home, but it wasn't evaluated or decided on prior to coronavirus happening, right? So we're kind of half-assing kind of what we're doing, and I'm not trying to talk bad. It's just the reality of it. We were put in this position and we had to learn it within 2 weeks or whatever. But man, there is like a human interaction that you miss, and especially with something like you're doing. Me, I don't need the human interaction. I talk to how many people a day on the phone. I don't need that. But for you, when it's something that you genuinely care about and you genuinely want to make it, you genuinely have the power to build it. It's not like, hey, I like this company, I really want to do well for it and spread the word or whatever. Your job is to actually grow it. When you have those type of responsibilities, I think there's a certain sense of pride that you get. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, yeah, I do know why I'm here. I do get it.
It's like exactly. And like that's been the hardest thing to focus on is like
during this time.
There's because a lot of my coworkers love working from home. Like, they love it.
But for you, it's a little bit different.
And I think, it's because I think they just can, they can block out everything. They can sit down and do their job, focus on it, and that's it. And then that's great for them. Like, they get to work and they get to sleep in longer. They don't have to travel.
It's the same thing with the doctor idea, right? That's great for them. They've got it down, right? But, I need a certain different environment.
Right. And I would love, exactly, like, when I always talk, like, I always joke around, like, I'm, like, the class clown of the company, and, like, I loved going into work and being surrounded by my team because it was a constant reminder every single day that these are the people I'm building this with and these who I'm here for. I very rarely do things for myself. Like, I've never been, that's why I want to be a doctor. I want to help people.
Sure.
It's why I wanted to be a captain in hockey, because I wanted to help the team, not because of my own pride. And that's what this job now, it's like I could kind of really care less about my personal success. I want to be able to help the people around me. I want to make money so I can have a family and not worry about money and when I have a family. It's very much, I could really give a rat's ass about my own wants and needs.
Yeah.
I feel like being able to provide for other people and help them and help grow something with other people, that's where I get the feel good from the job, and not getting to see that is really, really tough.
It's tough for you.
Yeah.
And I don't think you give a rat's ass about what your wants and I think what your wants or needs are impacting other people.
Yeah.
I think that's where your wants and needs are. I don't think you don't have any. I think it's impacting other people and making a difference. I think that's where you're at.
Yeah.
And when you don't see that firsthand, it can be difficult, right?
Yeah.
You don't get that appreciation through a Zoom call. You don't get to see the smile. Yes, you do, but like you don't get to have that. Me and you talking is a lot different than me and you FaceTiming, right?
Yeah, it's 100% different.
It's totally different, and I get that, man. And I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you that you're identifying what you want in life, which is not an easy thing to do.
No, it's been like really, it's been tough trying to like figure it out. It's funny. I was like on a date with a chick when I was like 23, 24.
Okay.
And
2-3 years.
3 years ago, and she was older. She was like 20 older. She was like 26, 27.
Yeah.
And I could tell like she wasn't really feeling me. And she was like talking about like how you really start finding yourself like 26, 27, stuff like that.
And that's how I feel.
And when I was just like, you're crazy. I know everything. I know exactly what I want. And like, I'm at this age now. I'm like, God damn, that girl was right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm finally starting to think about what makes me happy and what I need to do to be happy.
And dude, we're not like these fucking...
I know we're no gurus.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it. We're not any fucking gurus, but I think when you're 18 and you start going through college, like I didn't really do that. And I think about who I was between 18 and 22. Who I was then, I was a child. I was a kid. Like, completely different than who I am at 28. And I think... and I don't think she meant it as a slight either, right?
No, exactly. It wasn't.
It wasn't. It was just, I don't think you... And I see that all the time, man. In young kids and stuff. I mean, there's people who do know what they want, and they are very direct, and they know what they want, and that's great. But yeah. I'm very happy for you, man. I'm very happy.
It's been a wild, like, 6 months, to say the least.
Oh,
like,
it's been a wild year, for sure. 2020 has been a shit show.
It's been crazy. It's like my friend who... And it was, like, I got down in the dumps for a while, and you just... It's the perfect time to work on yourself.
You know what? That's the thing. Like, if you're going to be at home, sometimes you need those reminders, but as long as you got that coming in... It should be improvement time.
Right.
Like, you should come out of quarantine better than where you came when you went in.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
And
man.
I didn't treat the first 2 months like that.
Dude, I hear you, man, because it almost seems like a vacation, even though you're still working. And some people aren't working, but those who are working, it's like, okay, I'm working from home. This is chill.
Well, dude, we can just transition into what, why that first month was brutal. Like, my whole apartment got coronavirus.
Yeah, so let's bring... We got to
talk about
this, and I don't even know how deep we are, but I don't even care.
I know, we can edit some stuff.
No, we're not editing shit. This is all going in right now. So yeah, you got coronavirus on top of it, dude.
I know. So we... so I have 3 roommates, and...
and you're living in Wrigleyville?
Just south of it in Lakeview. Like Belmont and Southport. Okay. So I have a huge place, like 3 roommates, 2 stories. 2 of my roommates have girlfriends, so it's always a packed house.
Yeah.
And, all this shit's going down.
I gotta ask, is there a lot of family cooking?
Or
is it every man for themselves?
It's kind of like every man for themselves.
Oh, man.
It's fine, though. It's not a big deal. But, we're a family for sure.
Sure.
It's awesome.
You ain't gonna let someone go hungry, but
no, right.
But I'm making this for me.
Right, yeah. So it's a great dude. I love people I live with.
And how did you find that place? How did you
I met my roommate Cody at CDW. We sat next to each other.
Oh, okay.
We were both going through breakups and living in our parents' basements, and we were like, we need the fuck out.
Yeah.
Now. And then his friend moved from Tucson, Eddie. And then all 3 of us have been living together for almost 3 years, and we had a 4th join us last year.
Is Tucson Eddie? Is he from? Is he originally from there?
Yeah, he lived in Tucson.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I met all of them, and it's great, man. They helped me get through the breakup, and they just taught me how to have fun, enjoy life. Like they're my best friends now.
Dude, sounds like I gotta meet them sometime.
Yeah, they
sound honestly, like some chill fucking guys.
They're awesome, but anyway, so we all go out for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, this year?
Yeah, this year, because that was the weekend before they shut everything down.
Yeah, that is true, right?
And but we had friends flying in. We had a huge party that day.
Did they get stuck here?
No, they didn't. So we were like, "Are you guys coming?" They're like, "Yeah, we're still gonna come." And so obviously it's an odd feeling going out when all that stuff's going on. You don't really feel like safe. So it wasn't really that great of a day. It was still fun, but nowhere near.
But it was awkward, right? It's an odd feeling.
Well, then 2 days later, my roommate tells me, he's like, "I don't feel good."
Was it from the people that came in?
No, we don't know. We don't. That's the thing. No one will ever. Don't, right? No one will ever know. We're like, what? We're like, all right, you just obviously have a cold. You're fine.
Like you're exaggerating.
And then he's really sick, for a couple days. And then my roommate's girlfriend starts getting sick. And we're like, holy shit, what is going on? And this is when, no one knows really what's going on.
And to be clear, we just shared a jewel right now.
Yeah, so. No, it's fine. It's fine.
This was in February, to be
This was
clear,
in
right?
second week of March.
Second week.
Three months ago.
Yeah, so
totally fine.
We're in the middle of June. You continue. I got something for you afterwards.
Yeah. But we're just like, oh shit, and like he's losing taste. He's got shortness of breath.
Oh, dude.
And we're just like, fuck, like
that's it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Like this is it. And like I start feeling a little tightness in my chest, and I don't know if it's like the anxiety or like what's going on. I'm freaking out. Like our whole apartment's freaking out, and my roommate Eddie's girlfriend gets tested and she's positive.
And there's like you live 4 guys deep, and then there's usually like 1 to 2 girls there at a time.
And I'm just like, well, shit. I was cooking dinner with her 5 nights ago.
Yeah.
And then like Cody gets his test and it's positive.
Oh my! And they were both sick.
They're both sick.
Yeah, okay.
And they like no hospital or anything like that. Like it was just bad, really, really bad, like flu-like symptoms, cold. So it like we saw it firsthand and didn't really see, like we got sick, but nothing bad. But yeah, we had to quarantine all of ourselves for like a month. Couldn't go see family, couldn't go do any of that.
So was work already quarantined at that time?
Well, we all started working from home that Monday.
So it worked out. Like
it worked out
on time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you got it over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, we don't know when.
Well, when did you go out though?
We went out on that Saturday, but like who knows? Like
but you were prepared for work to work at home on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh God, dude. So at least you didn't bring it in the office. Right?
I know. So like that was really, really scary, and it made the whole situation really, really fast. We know people who are immunocompromised. Like we had to order all of our groceries online, leave at the door. We didn't leave the apartment for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Dude, and it's not just you. It's fucking who you affect. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I think, and I don't want to get all like political and shit, but I think that the people who are like very mad about that stuff, they're not thinking about the other people.
No, exactly.
You gotta. It's not just you, brother. Like you gotta protect other people, and I understand you're frustrated with that, but you gotta have some respect for human life.
It's just like I'm still like I won't go like I'll go to my parents' house, but I haven't given either of them a hug in like 6 months.
I know, it's so weird.
And
I keep forgetting. I give my mom a hug, and she like turns her head away because I'm so used to giving her a kiss. She like goes down and gives me a hug like this because I can't remember.
Right.
I'm just so used to just hugging her, giving her a kiss on the cheek, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. We're living in such a weird time right now.
It's just weird because our age, we're not like we are the carriers. We are the people that can make it so much worse, but we're not the ones that are going to get affected.
Yeah. We're hopping, bopping all around town.
So, you know what? Like, I'm cool with coming here. I think we should be cool with going to a bar and stuff like that. But I don't know if I'm a doctor, if I'm a mailman, if I'm a person that is continually in contact with other people, I have a personal responsibility to keep myself away from others.
You're right, but at the same time, like, if you're going to a bar, you should be wearing a face mask.
Right, exactly. Like, exactly.
Like, dude, I mean, even our interaction today, I'm not saying me and you need to be wearing face masks, and probably by CDC rules, you may have to be. But, to be honest, like, I don't understand these people who are going out into bars where everyone's going out. Like, when Wisconsin opened, everyone from Illinois went up there. It's like, dude, okay, first of all, it's not even our state. They should have denied anyone access that was from Illinois. First of all, that should have been the first fucking rule.
I know.
If you have an Illinois ID, you should not. They should have just fucking denied people.
I know.
That's my personal
It's crazy.
opinion.
Like that, Wisconsin like never closed.
Dude, and people just fucking flew up there, and dude, it's just you gotta, dude, you go to a bar and then you're next to your fucking niece or nephew, and they're fucking a little kid and
licking the table.
Yeah, or whatever. Like
Yeah.
Dude, it's just I don't know. I just feel like people are careless. Like, and the reason I'm saying this is because I saw my nephew yesterday. And my sister's like, "Do you want to hold him?" I was like, "I just went to the gas station." Like, like I just went to the gas station, pumped gas. Like, I've been all around. She was like, "Oh, well, I have hand sanitizer." I was like, "Okay." Like, yeah, I will hold him if you're comfortable with that. But I just felt very scared, and it's a weird thing to say, but like, I just wanted to make sure he's a young.
Yeah.
He's just turned 1, dude, in May. Like, I don't want to fucking put him in a position because I stopped at a gas station, you know what I mean? Like, I get and I've never felt that way, you know what I mean?
No, of course not.
Recently, I'm counting how long I'm washing my hands and all that shit.
I know.
I think I did get, I don't know if I got coronavirus, but I had a double ear infection and bronchitis from late February into March. Whether I had coronavirus on top of it, I don't know, but I was very sick for like 2 weeks.
I think that we're going to learn that, I mean, when you just, like, the spread, it was so fast.
You can get tested to see if you had it, right?
That's what, so I never got the actual test to see if I had coronavirus. I got the antibody test last month, and it came back positive for the antibodies.
And that means you had it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. So
I think I might do it.
Well, it's a lot of money. So
is it really?
Yeah.
How much?
It was like $250.
For what?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, I did it to give me some peace of mind.
You could just say I had it. You could just say I had it. I'm not paying if anyone wants to pay that so I can get tested, please send that over.
Yeah, no, it was really, really expensive, but I was flying to Denver, and I wanted to.
So that's why you would. Okay, you know what? That makes sense though.
Right.
I get that, and I respect that, dude.
I wanted to see, number one. I mean, I'm gonna act the same way regardless, right? But it gives me a little bit more peace of mind.
Meaning, like, you'd wear a mask on the
flight.
flight.
Right, wear a mask on the flight.
How?
Super careful.
Dude, I go, and granted, we've had this conversation about my lungs today and how I'm stopping the Juul. How annoying was wearing a mask for fucking, like, 5 hours?
5 hours? I don't know. I passed out on the flight. I usually sleep on planes.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not like that bad. I mean, I wear a bandana one.
Yeah.
And I, like, tuck it into my shirt.
Yeah, see.
So I'm not wearing, like, the huge mask. So, like, I'm okay.
I did that, and then I switched over, and I put it around my ears. I'm like, this is a little much. Like,
yeah, it's not comfortable.
The bandana is much better, but then people are like, you're wearing a fucking bandana, dude. We can't get a mask. It's like, all right, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and I try to grapple with, like, I had it. So, like, you know, if it's like any other disease, like, I should not be able to get it again. I shouldn't be able to pass it. Like, that's just... But you can still pass it with, like, touch. Well, that's like... I mean, there's a couple cases of them, like, saying that. Like, that's the thing. No one really knows. So I'm, like, trying to take care of myself, but, like, also not inhibit myself from doing stuff. Because I think when all is said and done, it's like maybe they'll come out with this vaccine.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to be, like... You know, you get it. You don't. Like, I don't... Like, I think they... I don't think. I mean, we're totally speculating. I don't know what the fuck to talk about.
Well, you're Dr. Popp, so
no, it's just like
you're real close with Dr. Fauci, right?
Yeah. We're best buddies. We used to drink all the time in college.
You guys played. What's that game called?
Beer Die.
Yeah.
Fauci's
a monster in that game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to buy it too much. That's the only thing people talk about. But I think we're all just, man, it's like being in the middle of the chaos. And it's so hard to know what's going on when you're right in the middle of it. Yeah. We're not really going to know the total effect it had, how many people actually had it for years.
No, you're really not. I mean, I could possibly have had it, and I'm not going to pay $250 to find out. So we will never know, dude. We will never know how many people actually had it. It's just concerning. Like, our parents have a little bit of health issues. Yeah, exactly. Like, my mom does, your mom does. Like, it's your dad had an issue, and my dad's getting older, and I've seen that guy rip his mask off in the middle of a training fire so he could give it to me. I take it off for 1 second, and he's like, I'm dying. Yeah. And I smoke, and this guy's dying. We're on the 3rd floor, and he's like crying, but not crying. He's just like tearing up, and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, you're a monster. Like, our parents are getting older. It kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, like, it is. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, that's what our generation is going to have to realize. Like,
it's not for us.
Right. It's not for us. And if you're going to go be reckless and you're going to go to bars and you're going to do all that stuff,
just number one, those repercussions.
I'm okay with everyone going and doing what they want to do, but number one, you better not be in a job where you're in contact with a lot of people.
Or if you are, you better be social distancing and using a mask while you're doing it.
Right.
I expect that, at least, right?
So, and like for us, like, I'm not hanging out with my parents very often. Like, I'm keeping my distance. I'm making sure that I'm not going near anyone anyone really, right? Because I guess it could affect anyone, but just like older people.
Dude, besides Chromie and going to the grocery store, the only people that I have over are the people that are coming over to the podcast. I don't see anyone else.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I think it's irresponsible. I think going out when like going up to Wisconsin and shit, that's irresponsible, man.
I know. Expect like if you're going up to maybe like a cabin and you're like gonna just sit in a cabin with you and the people you're quarantining with, that's fine. But like if you're leaving the city and you're going up to Milwaukee to go to the bars, like you're being a little irresponsible.
I don't understand it. It's just and I know people want to go out. I know people want to have fun. I know people don't want to sit in all summer, but I don't know, man. It's tough. It is, tough.
And it's like, and that's my thing. It's like if you're gonna be our age and go do something, that's fine. But you better make sure that you're not affecting other people.
Yeah,
any way possible. You know, you have to wear a mask to go to a restaurant anyway right now, just to walk to your table. Like, you better do everything in your power to make sure you're not going to affect someone else.
I agree, man. I agree. I think that is what people are lacking when they're getting pissed off.
Right.
Man, these beers.
Yeah,
no, I honestly believe that when people are getting pissed off, it's because they're mad because they're being somewhat selfish.
Yeah.
And they're seeing what they're losing, and they're not realizing what other people could lose. They're mad because they can't work because the economy is, shut down and all this other shit. Okay, well, you could lose your Aunt Petunia or whatever.
Yeah, like you could lose your mom.
Like exactly. Like there's more to it and I understand. Like you can be set back from losing your job for 3 months of losing your job, you could be set back for years.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and I get that, and that's fucked up too. But it's that or someone's life.
Yeah, and it's so hard to decide.
I feel like it's not a comparison.
Well, it's crazy. Like, Chicago, Illinois, like, everyone's just giving Pritzker all this shit. Everyone's giving Lightfoot all this shit.
JB Pritzker.
Like, everyone is giving him all this shit.
You know why he got in, right? You know why he got in.
Oh, yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
No, we do, right?
No.
Because he wanted to fucking make the weed legal. That's
why, I know.
That's why he got in.
I know. But, like, everyone was dogging on them for keeping the state closed for so long and ramping up things so slowly. Guess what? Illinois is, like, the best state right now in terms of new cases and being able to reopen without worry. Like,
sure.
we are like, I don't know what map I saw. We are like a top 5 state in the amount of decreased cases, and now we're going to be able to open up safely. But
we have opened up already, haven't we?
A little bit, but like in these stages.
Mayor Lightfoot.
Yeah, but there's like for example, like Arizona fully opened like a month ago.
They've been open like the whole time.
Yeah, they closed for a little bit.
No, when they closed, they didn't even like officially close. I think you could still get like haircuts and shit. I think like personal businesses,
bars and stuff.
Yes, restaurants and shit. But you could still go get a haircut. Like they weren't even officially closed.
I know, but now they opened fully back up. Masks weren't required anywhere. Everything like that. Well, guess what? They just went back to 50% lockdown.
Yeah,
because their entire. I heard it on the radio coming here. They're flying in doctors from New York because New York's cases have completely died down. Chicago died down. They're flying in doctors to New York. Or from New York and Chicago to Arizona.
That's fucking insane.
Because they fucking reopened too quick.
They
and
negligent now, right?
Yeah.
That's so, like...
How messed up is that?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And like,
it's fucked up.
Yeah. And it's just, like, when you're one of those...
It's the carelessness of...
The officials.
That's exactly what it is, because the people can be mad as they want. It's the officials' choice, right?
And they're the end-all, be-all, and you reopened without any, like... Dude, like, the clubs in, like, Phoenix and Old Town were open fully. No masks, anything like that. And, I mean, if I'm one of those officials and I allowed that to happen, and now I see my states going up, I see positive tests are one thing, right? There's more tests available, so there's going to be more positive tests. That's just how it works.
Sure.
But when I see the death rate going up,
that's
like that,
you're putting.
And I'm the official that made that decision. You got blood on your hands, man. A lot of it.
You worded that very nicely.
You got blood on your hands.
You're right.
And it's just like, how can you cater to whatever people were telling you? I need my business open by this, by that. Like,
you need to have a backbone to say that's. I appreciate what you're saying. I want to help you in that position, and they should. They should help small business owners.
Right.
But there's a responsibility, right?
Well, like if you're like Bottle Blonde in Old Town and you're given the green light to where you're at full capacity, no restrictions, you can't blame the owner.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm going to do it. I need to make money. But,
But you can't be influenced by that rhetoric either.
Yeah, but if you're like an owner for a business, if you're going to be open, you're going to be open. Like, I don't put any...
If you can be open, you're going to be... I agree. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the officials, and sorry, maybe I wasn't...
No, you're fine.
Maybe I was a little off on that. I'm saying the officials cannot take this guy bitching about his bar's not open, he's not making money. They cannot take that as persuasive
Well, look at Chicago now,
Evidence.
man. Like you're able to go to. I was just in Wrigley this past week at Old Crow, and you just walk in with a mask. You're sat at a private table, and if you get up from the table, you have to wear your mask. All the servers have masks and gloves on.
I like that.
And they're doing that slowly, and it'll eventually, it'll improve throughout the whole summer. Like we're not going to get it fully back this summer.
No, but I like that. That is nice. That makes you feel comfortable. I'm sure the workers are not happy about it, like wearing all that stuff, but I'm sure that makes them feel comfortable, at least about their health.
Yeah.
Like, they may not feel physically comfortable, but I'm sure that's got to be a good feeling all around. And I think that's all that people want right now, is to make sure that they feel safe. Dude, if I go through a drive-thru, I'm not kidding. I've done this probably, and I may sound like a Karen doing this, but, like, I may have done it, like, 4 or 5 times where, dude, if I'm looking in and I can see multiple workers, like, not wearing shit, I'll just pull out of the drive-thru.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that may be a little bit of a Karen move, but I'm just being honest. Like, if you're not going to take it seriously during coronavirus, you probably don't give a shit at all, ever, period. So
No.
I'm not interested in eating here. And yeah, it's a little fucking bougie, but that's just how I feel.
No way. You're allowed to feel, because at the end of the day, we're going to find out that maybe it's not as lethal as we thought for certain demographics. We could have done all these things differently. The fact of the matter is that, like, man, there was guidelines that Illinois followed, and if states like Arizona, states like Florida had followed similar guidelines...
Texas was having trouble too, right? They were being a little wild, right?
Yeah. I don't really know about the numbers for them. All I've heard is Florida and Arizona blowing up in cases and blowing up in deaths. And if you would have just stuck the course like Illinois, New York, maybe you'd save some of your population.
Some of your population, and not only that, but, like, you're going to have to be locked down for longer on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to fuck up your economy even more, right?
Yeah. So, like, when you, I guarantee you, when they see and they talk about the coronavirus in 20 years, they're going to look at those states and it's going to be a chapter in a textbook.
Yeah.
Because they are just, it's the loss of life is, it's pointless, Like, what? So you could open up your clubs a month early?
Correct.
Like, you didn't have any standards beforehand. No one, we have friends that live in Arizona. No mask. There's not even a mask requirement to go into the grocery store.
Dude, and it's the fact that, like, you look to these officials and these leaders for that leadership to have that awareness and that wisdom to know that, like, opening up the club a month early is not worth people's lives.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, when you're looking at it, it's 2020, right? But, like, it's 2020. It's fucking, it literally is 2020 vision, though, right? But it's just sad that, like, people don't have that awareness and that wisdom to be like, okay, this is not okay.
Yeah, it's you look at the federal government not policing it enough, like telling them how to do things. It's going to be a dasher. We don't have to talk about it too much because that's
no, we don't. Because I want to move on to one other topic before we wrap this up. This has been quite a doozy.
Yeah, it's been long.
So you were talking about taking a plane out to Colorado, right?
Yeah.
How was that? And I definitely want that picture so we could throw that up.
Yeah. I'll send it to you after. So I have a friend that lives there who works for Lockheed Martin. He's an aerospace engineer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's one of my best buds I've had for a long time, and he's like, dude, you're locked in your apartment. Just come fly here. I live right.
And I'm sure it was cheap as fuck.
Yeah, super cheap flight. I just used some credit from flights that I canceled for during the whole thing. Oh shit!
So
it was
you
free to get. Yeah, I didn't even pay.
Oh, you son.
He's like, you can work in my basement. I'll set up a desk for you, and we'll just go hiking into the mountains and everything like that. And he's like, we're gonna do one thing, and
mushrooms.
No. He's like, we're gonna do one thing that's kind of crazy, but like you got to do it.
Yeah.
And it's called a 14er. So in the Rocky Mountains, there's 53 peaks that reach over 14,000 feet in the range. And you can climb all 50.
So you have to do one of them? Is that what it is?
Well, the whole, like, if you live there and you're big on hiking, you want to do all of them.
Oh, sure.
So, like, reach all the peaks. And my friend wants to do that. But, so the way you do them is you have to wake up at, like, we woke up at 2:30 in the morning.
Holy shit.
And you have to drive into the mountain range to get to these things.
And where's he at? In Denver?
He's in Denver.
Okay. So I lived in Boulder, which I don't know.
It's north, I think.
Yeah, west a little bit.
So, like, we're changing our sleep schedule so we can get up and do this thing. And we drive the 2.5 hours there. You start the hike at, like, 4:45. And
holy shit.
In the morning, yeah. And it's, like, pitch black. And this is the tallest.
And it's just you two, or you got a guide?
Just us two.
Okay.
Because there's a trail. It's a decent trail.
There's a guide as far as a trail.
Yeah, like, you're not, like, pitchforking up and, like, climbing. So you drive up to about 10,000 feet, and you got to climb about 4,400 feet. which is almost a mile vert, which is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
So
yeah,
it's supposed to take you about like 3.5, 4 hours to get up and like 2.5, 3 hours to get down. It's like a 7-hour hike.
That's insane.
Yeah. And the first hour is just like, so switchbacks is when you're on too steep of a climb. You're just going back and forth to get up. And that was like the first 45 minutes. And you just like, after you got through that, like, holy shit, I don't know if I can do this. Like, it's so brutally tough.
Yeah.
And then you get through the trees, and that's your first third. Because once you get up to a certain point in the mountain, the vegetation stops growing.
Yeah, because of the air level, right? Mm-hmm. The oxygen level, right?
Right, yeah. So you get to that, and that's your third point. And I'll send a picture for all 3 points that we got.
Yes, please.
Because you're going through the trees and stuff, and you can't really see out into the mountains yet, because you're still in all the trees. You break through that tree line, and it is just boom.
It's just bare.
Bare. And you can see the mountains like surrounding you.
That's wild.
And you're in the middle of them. It's crazy. It's like one of the coolest, like that view alone was one of the coolest things. And then the second third, you just go straight up again. And you're just losing oxygen, and you're not really realizing like how much you're climbing. It's just like right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot.
Yeah, it just feels like a walk. You're not.
And you're just like I'm going, and I have an altimeter on my phone or an altitude meter on my phone, and I'm just like, oh, shit, we're not even like halfway.
Yeah.
And the final, and that took it was about like an hour and a half for each third. The final third is nothing but vertical and like rocks and shit like that. And luckily you're up so high that you can't really realize like I'm on like the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Like this is dangerous. But you can look over from the path and you just look down and you see these 50-foot tall trees that literally look like ants.
That's fucking wild.
And the rocks are moving. You have to pay really close attention.
So you don't slip or whatever.
Right. Like I always, like my friend's pretty out of shape and he made it up. I always tell like my mindset on it is like you need to be in pretty good shape to be able to do something like that. You don't have to be a mountain climber or anything like that.
Sure, but you can't be no fucking jewel smoking every day type shit.
No, like you might struggle to get up there.
Yeah, it'd probably take me 2 days.
Yeah,
probably have to camp.
Yeah, it would take a really long time. Well, so like it takes you that long to get up there, and then like I'll show you the picture being up there, and you can finally see the western part of the range. And you just see like all the snow-capped mountains and
unreal.
Literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like by 10 times. Like it was, and it's so rewarding to get to that top.
Yes, of course.
And then you just sit up there for like 45 minutes.
Because you know you got to go back down.
Yeah, you're just like shit.
3 hours.
Yeah, you're like shit. I got to go back down now. It's like damn. But you do get up there and the sense of accomplishment. And then when you're up there, there's a little seal, and it says like this is the highest point of the Rocky Mountains.
Really. And
you're just standing up there, and you're like, "Damn, I'm up here." So you stay up there for like 45 minutes, let like all your stuff dry because you got sweaty.
Yeah.
Eat some food, and then you just truck on back down, and it takes like 3 hours to get back down.
That is so crazy.
I was like, I think I was so dehydrated, like I felt hungover for like 2.5 days.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I didn't really feel normal for like 2 or 3 days.
Especially at the altitude when you're visiting, and top of that. Yeah, you feel sick, probably.
They said that when you're at the top, you're at 50% of your normal oxygen intake from Denver.
From Denver, which is already
mile high.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it was probably like 40%.
Yeah. That is insane.
Yeah, and, like, I'm in really good shape. Like, I run, I work out, so, like, I'm able to handle it. But still, like...
You were drained.
I was so exhausted, and on the way down...
If you were fucked up for 2 days, I'd be fucked up for the week, probably.
Yeah, like, I know. Like, it was brutal, dude. But it was awesome, and I just went out there to get away, and it was... Yeah, I mean, now I like would always suggest someone to do that.
Hell yeah.
It's because it's like, it's a hike. Like, it's not like you're, like, rappelling with, like, shit like that. Like, it's not dangerous. You know, the most dangerous thing is, like, maybe a grizzly bear will walk on you, and you better have, like, a gun or something to make sure. Yeah, like, my friend, like, he just carries one. He's like, well, we're not getting killed by a bear. But, like, other than that, like, dude, you can get up there. There's a path. Like, it's just families go up there. Like, people bring their dogs up there. It's not as dangerous and crazy as you think for being the top of the Rocky Mountains.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm expecting this visitor center
and
like all this stuff, and it's just like a trail.
Yep. Yeah.
And then when you drive away, you can see the trail like up the side of the mountain.
That's so wild.
It was.
Please send me all
I will.
So
I'll send you all the pictures.
Up there.
Yeah, I will.
Dude, I don't know if we can end on a better point than that
I know,
there, man.
dude, this was so awesome. I hope I can come back.
Thank you for fucking coming through. It's been fucking years, literally years since I've seen you.
And I feel like we could sit here and talk all day.
Dude, you got to come back, I think.
Yeah.
You got to come back.
Absolutely.
We got to shoot some other shit
We'll see what the reception is for the hour episode.
Yeah. You can see I've cut the beard off. It was just getting too much. Even he said I look like a ratchet hoe.
He looks a lot better than episode 8.
Yeah, so, well, what are you going to do? I'm so glad you came on. I didn't watch, but I hope that there was no glitching during this, and I've got really pissed. So thank you very much for watching the Coach House. Tyler, Popp, do you want to throw your handles out or anything?
No, I'll put them in the description. But yeah, man, I hope you guys appreciate it.
Dr. Popp, I already know it. All right, thank you very much, and dude, you got to fucking come back.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.